Chase Kong, UTRGV just passed a referendum that could lead to the start of football, women's swimming and diving, marching bands, and expanded spirit programs. Bring that bill!
I think we need one of these at our football stadium. Would you agree?
Yeah!
Let's do it.
Woo! The UTRGV Coaches Show starts now! Coach, I like this car.
Ride smooth.
What do you say we go in and do a coach's show?
Let's go get it.
Welcome to the UTRGV Coaches Show at North Park Lexus, Rio Grande Valley, just off the expressway in San Juan. I'm Jonah Goldberg. This is UTRGV men's basketball head coach Matt Figger. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Jonah, thanks for having me.
Well, Coach, you've already gotten your first few games of the season in. What have you seen from your team so far?
We're trying to still establish an identity of who we are. People, they're trying to get used to me. I'm trying to get used to them. I've seen some good moments. Defensively, we've had some good moments. I felt like there's times that we play good offense. We just got to be able to, as the season goes, it's not a one game deal. It's a 31 game schedule, and you've got to try to find consistency with who you are each and every day, and start establishing an identity of who we are, and that's what we're working on right now.
You've got a number of transfers on your team, and we've seen some pretty good things out of a couple of them. Justin Johnson, the Southern Miss transfer, he's looked pretty impressive to me. What have you thought of him so far?
I felt like Justin's really starting to understand what we want. He's very aggressive. He can play multiple positions. I've put him around. Long body, can defend multiple spots. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. We're fortunate to have him for this season and next. I expect as the season goes along for him to keep developing and finding his niche when we get into league play.
And another guy he's hit a few threes. He's grabbed a bunch of rebounds for you. Mike Adewume, a transfer from SIU Edwardsville, also played at Houston and has a big NCAA tournament ring.
Mike is, again, another one of those guys that in that 6'6" range that can play multiple spots, and I think he's been our leading rebounder every game we've had. We're just trying to keep putting him in situations for him to have success. We can attack, guys who are bigger than him, that he can use his speed and athleticism, and he's quick to the ball. He gets a lot of rebounds, and he's like a point forward at times for us. So very lucky to have both of them.
Adewume got to compete with the Nigerian national team a little bit over the summer. How do you think that experience helped him when he got here?
Well, I think it just helps him for his career more than anything. To be able to go to a training camp and compete against, I think there was 14 NBA players in camp competing for a roster spot where they were going to have to cut, I think, 2 NBA players. So it's a good measure stick for him to learn, going forward for his career about what it takes to be a pro, and that's what he's here to train for. He's here to help us win. No, there's no question about that. But he's also working. He came here to better, number one, to get an education, get a master's degree, and number two, to help our team win. Number three, to establish himself for the future financially.
You get to see those players and the rest of UTRGV this weekend, Saturday, 1 p.m. at the South Padre Island Convention Center. UTRGV plays host to Northern Arizona, part of the inaugural Battle on the Beach. At 4 p.m., Texas Tech plays Incarnate Word. What does it mean to you and to the program to be able to get down to South Padre Island to play a game?
It's huge because we want to play games in Cameron County. We want to bring our product to Lower Valley. I feel like they sometimes miss out on some of the things that happen up here. And I think it's a good way to take our product down there and to show our appreciation for their support. and we want to continue to do it year after year.
Are you going to have a chance to get to the beach while you're there?
I don't know about being able to get to the beach. I'll see the beach as we pull in, but I mean, get a chance to go out there and sit and gather your thoughts. There's worse places in the world to be than sitting on a beach in November, thinking about what your next opponent's going to do, and it gives you a little peace of mind.
That's awesome. Well, we're super excited for that. South Padre Island Convention Center this weekend, and then you go on the road for a few games after that. You're playing Northern Arizona Center, then you actually go to Northern Arizona for a Monday, Cal State Fullerton at Northern Arizona on Tuesday, then off to 11th ranked, at least at the time that we recorded this, Illinois. And so a bunch of big road games coming up, and your first kind of extended road trip this year. Another
beautiful place up in the mountains in Flagstaff, and get to spend Thanksgiving in Champaign. So some good opponents coming up. We've got to be ready to play, and we're going to give it our best shot. We know we're going to get the other team's best shot, and we got to take them one at a time. I don't look down the road. I just look at the next game.
You mentioned Thanksgiving up in Illinois, and there are a couple ways to obviously look at having to do Thanksgiving on the road, but it gives your team a chance to really bond together and spend that holiday together.
Yeah, it's anytime your team gets to spend every day you're making memories with a group of guys, because you have a team, and that team is only assembled usually for 1 year, and so sometimes that's when guys get older, they appreciate that camaraderie and stuff that they had with their fellow teammates, and bond, and 10 years, 20 years from now, go back and look on what they had.
When you speak about making memories, it makes me think of this big initiative you've had these last few weeks, Fist Bump Friday. Every Friday morning, UTRGV men's basketball goes to one or two schools. They've been elementary schools thus far in the Edinburgh School District, and they've been giving fist bumps to these little kids as they walk into school. Can you tell us about that a little?
Well, it's just, to me, it's our opportunity, number one, for our players to realize they are role models. That young kids in those ages particularly look at them and they see these giant human beings, and we want to inspire the youth of America to maybe see themselves in one of those players someday. I mean, some of the greatest impact are student athletes on young kids' lives, because you never know what that young kid is experiencing when he shows up on that Friday. And if it's some way that there's somebody to uplift their day, especially a student athlete that plays at a university, it's a basketball player, and just get a little word from one of those players, I think it can last a lifetime impression on a young boy or young girl that they can take with them and go, I want to be that.
That's really powerful, and I'm so happy that you're doing this. And how'd you come up with the idea for this?
We were just going through ideas for community service, and my assistant coach Javon Austin said, Coach, let's go to elementary schools and give fist bumps, and we call it Fist Bump Friday. So, well, my idea is his. Great idea, and we wanted to just take and run with it and implement it. And I really think that the best way our guys can give is to give to the youth of our area, of our city, and of our nation. Because I've heard so many stories where someone has said, meeting an athlete changed my life when I felt down, or when I had a speech impediment, or I was shy, or whatever. It's something that's memorable for them, and so our guys are, whether people like to say it or not, they are role models, and they are trying to help young people, and I think our guys enjoy it.
Well, it's a great initiative, and you can follow on our social media channels if you want to see pictures and videos from these Fist Bump Fridays, and you can find the links to those at goutrgv.com. Now, about a week ago, your team went to Arizona, which was an interesting reunion for you. Their head coach and you actually coached against each other as assistant coaches. in the Final Four a few years ago, and I hear there's a funny story behind all that.
We're playing Gonzaga in the Final Four in Phoenix, we're in whatever the football stadium there is out there, Glendale.
Yeah.
There's 80,000 people there. Well, the floor is elevated, and so everybody's sitting in kind of a theater with the floor elevated up, and the head coaches sit on a stool up on the court, and everybody else there's like 4 steps, and then there's the bench. And so Tommy and I are so involved with our teams, and it was both our scouts. So we're always in charge of the matchups when guys sub in, guys sub out, things like that. So he and I are both just constantly on the steps, moving back and forth and on the floor. But we come out at halftime, and lead official John Higgins pulls us both together with Frank and Mark Few, and they said, "Hey, Coach, both you guys understand your 2 assistants can't stand up during the games." And Frank says, "Why?" They're helping us coach the game. And he said, "Well, you see all those people back there in the stands? That they've paid a lot of money, and they think those guys are distractions, so they can't watch the game." So, needless to say, Tommy and I had to figure out other ways to try to help our team. It was a great game.
So happy that you're here, and here at the start of your first season. Matt Vigor, head coach of UTRGV men's basketball. Thanks for joining us.
Jonathan, thanks for having me.
The UTRGV Coaches Show rolls on with UTRGV Vice President and Director of Athletics Chase Conk next, here at North Park Lexus, Rio Grande Valley.
In the minute it takes to knock back your dream, spot your new crush, or cheer on the home team, you could do something that really makes a difference. Sign up as an organ donor. In less than a typical timeout, you could sign up to save 8 lives. It sure beats using a minute to mustard that hot dog. Sign up at tosa1.org.
The Rio Grande Valley is growing every day. That's why you need a team you can trust. 2 stations, 2 languages.
Se le pide a cualquier persona con información.
The most experienced news anchors in the valley.
And I'm Dina Herrera Garza.
The largest weather team keeping you informed in English.
The tracker front updates forecast.
Y en español.
Te le voy a estar explicando un poco más de eso.
A sports team covering the RGV like no one else.
What this win means.
We're live in the morning, at noon, and in the evenings. Anytime you need us, we're online and on social media too. We do this all in both languages.
We are tracking breaking news.
Nosotros estamos aquí para platicarles cómo.
Who else can deliver this type of coverage?
Tonight at 10 in the meantime, have a great evening.
No one. Channel 5 News
And Azteca Valle.
working together for you.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Now hiring awesome crew. Apply at workatcanes.com.
I got mine because I'm a former student athlete.
I've got mine because the UTRGV Vaqueros are a hometown team.
I've got mine. Visa.
I've got mine because I'm a proud alumni.
I've got mine. I've got mine.
I've got mine.
I've got mine.
I've got mine.
I've got mine.
I've got mine. Go Vaqueros.
Get yours. UTRGV basketball season tickets are on sale now. Visit goutrgv.com/tickets to get yours today.
Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh's newest destination spot and a host hotel of UTRGV athletics with the amenities that a frequent long-stay traveler or visiting team in town to take on the V-Nation looks for. The nightlife is amplified with Ignite Lounge, a great way to wrap up a long workday or celebrate a big win. Town Place Suites by Marriott on Trenton in between Business 281 and Sugar Road and minutes away from the excitement of UTRGV. Town Place Suites by Marriott, Edinburgh.
like the wheels, Chase.
I appreciate it, Jonah. How great is Jose and this Lexus family?
I love coming here because I get to drive a new car every week.
It's a pretty good deal. You ready to record a show?
Let's do it.
All right.
Welcome back to the UTRGV Coaches Show from North Park Lexus, Rio Grande Valley. I'm Jonah Goldberg. This is Chase Conk. He is the Vice President and Director of Athletics at UTRGV. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you bet, Jonah. Good morning.
What's it like having two titles like that?
Oh, they both mean a lot, but certainly being the athletics director at UTRGV right now is a real privilege and a real honor, and what an exciting time for us, our athletics program, but our university.
Recently, the student body at UTRGV passed a referendum that, if approved by the UT System Board of Regents, will lead to the creation of football, marching bands, women's swimming and diving, and the expansion of the Spirit programs at UTRGV. Tell me what this means.
Well, it's transformational, and that's the piece that this semester was so enjoyable to work with our student body on, is to dream big and to think about our future. We have such an incredible institution. We have a wonderful student body, and we've got a great region that we represent each and every day. But to be able to look forward and now getting through the student referendum and having that become a reality last Thursday, now we get to really start our work, pending the Board of Regents approval, on what we're going to look like, not just 5 years from now, but 15, 20, 25 years from now. It's transformational for our student body. It's transformational for our entire region. And I think there's great days ahead for UTRGV in the Rio Grande Valley.
So I've been here about 14 years in the Rio Grande Valley, and it's grown exponentially just in that time without football. So now you're telling me we're gonna move the gear shift on these wonderful Lexuses down to fifth gear? What's this gonna look like?
Yeah, it's exciting, and that's a great way to put it. You look at the growth, and I've been here, almost 2.5 years, and just in the last 2.5 years, the steps that we've taken as an institution and as a region, but to think forward and to think of what we're going to look like in the fall of 25, to imagine a college football Saturday with Division I football here in the Rio Grande Valley. This proposal is going to create 500 new student opportunities for our student body at UTRGV, but the ripple effect is going to be much greater. That vibrant campus life, what we want to create with student programming, with residential villages, and then the community piece and the alumni piece, and being able to bring all of the cities and all of the communities of the valley together for a college football game day here in the Rio Grande Valley. That's exciting to think about. And so we've got a lot of work to do, but I can tell you there's a lot of people rowing in the same direction right now.
Well, that's really exciting, and I'm super stoked that we're all going to have this college game day and hopefully build a huge sense of pride in our university and our region.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the point of this. And as you look at our current 16 sports, really proud of our coaches and our staff. You look at our competitiveness over the last several years. You look at the strength of the Western Athletic Conference. You look at what we're doing from a community service standpoint and the engagement in the community. You look at our season ticket sales and the investment that the community is already making in us. You look at our academic success and what we're doing in the classroom. Our student athletes and our coaches represent us very, very well. And we feel, are rallying the valley around UTRGV athletics and our institution. But to add these new pieces to our puzzle and to be able to bring on women's swimming and diving and of course Division I football expands our portfolio and really expands the opportunities for us to engage with our community.
I'm really excited about the women's swimming and diving piece. I know that FAR is building this brand new natatorium. So what is that going to be like, getting to compete and practice there?
It's a tremendous facility. I mean, it's state of the art. Had a chance to tour it a couple of months ago, close to completion. And the city of FAR has been such a great partner with the university. It was really my first month or two on the job. I went to the groundbreaking ceremony with President Bailey and really got to understand what was coming to our region with this facility. But to be able to work with the city and to have our future student athletes have the ability to train and compete there, not just through a regular season meet schedule, but we really have a chance to host Western Athletic Conference Championships and other meets that are going to bring great attention to the Rio Grande Valley. But it's a state-of-the-art facility that I know our young ladies will really enjoy competing and training in.
And then marching bands, another big new key component of all of this. In a lot of areas, marching bands are a big part of pageantry, not just on game day, but also in local community events. Do you envision something like that here?
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that the other piece about this that's been well documented is this is very inclusive to all of our students. So our emphasis in making sure that we're doing things in both Hidalgo and Cameron County, in both Edinburgh and Brownsville, and all the communities in between. Just think about the holiday parade in McAllen here in a couple of years when you see that UTRGV marching band come through the parade, or Charo Days in Brownsville. Those are the pieces that I think really excite me, because that's where we start building that spirit and that ownership and that loyalness to our brand and to our institution, not only for our current students and our future students, but our alums. And nearly 80% of our graduates stay here in the Rio Grande Valley. And so to have the opportunity to keep them engaged, we feel like this proposal and the student referendum that was passed is part of recreating this entire experience for everybody associated with UTRGV.
And you talk about the two campuses, the two counties, and UTRGV has been very active really in the last few years since you've been here in both counties and on both campuses.
Yeah, absolutely, and not just the athletics piece, but really the whole university moving in that direction. Watching our campuses become more engaged and more vibrant, seeing our student attendance at our games this year has been awesome. Obviously last year was a little bit different with the pandemic, but being able to get back and watching our soccer teams compete in Brownsville, watching tennis just 2 weeks ago, had an inter-squad scrimmage down in Brownsville and had a great showing with a youth clinic. Golf has done the same thing. Basketball is going to be in Cameron County starting this weekend with our men's classic on the island. Women's basketball will follow in December. And so we've talked about it a lot, but it's really great to now have a track record and show that we're truly committed to both Hidalgo and Cameron counties.
Yeah, it's South Padre Island, Battle on the Beach, Saturday, 1 p.m. UTRGV faces Northern Arizona, 4 p.m. Texas Tech against Incarnate Word. Now, I know you had a hand in putting this together, so how did that come together?
Well, good friends at Texas Tech, but let's maybe start immediate with our commitment to Cameron County. We're looking for a neat place for us to compete. It's a destination location. South Padre Island is truly one of the crown jewels of the Rio Grande Valley. And so to be able to highlight our region and to be able to bring Division I basketball back to the island was something early on very important to us. Coach Lord wanted to do this early on. And so when we came to campus back in August of 2019, he and I rolled our sleeves up and started to try to figure out a way to do this. What it allows us to do is attract some really good opponents, and Texas Tech is a great example of that. We're going to have a great matchup with Northern Arizona. That's a great home game for us, and I say home game because these games that we're playing, not just at the UTRGV Fieldhouse, but they're our home games. Playing at Bird Ogden Arena, playing at the Fieldhouse, playing on the island. So great matchup on Saturday with Northern Arizona. But Texas Tech, good friends there. Obviously, Mark Adams is now the head coach. Chris Beard was the head coach prior. And so it was a conversation we had a year or two ago, and this is something that we want to continue, not necessarily with just these schools, but continue to play on the island and really be able to bring in big brand basketball teams into the Rio Grande Valley.
And you mentioned the women's tournament now in its second year, and I know that's a big deal too. You've got good competition for that one, and getting to play in South Padre Island and then getting to play at Bird Ogden Arena also for both basketball teams really shows how you're getting around, how we're getting around the entire Rio Grande Valley and playing in all these different places so a lot of people can see us.
Yeah, and that's what we want to do. We want to be inclusive in our approach. We want to make sure that we're giving everybody the opportunity to watch our teams compete and play. And I do. I think it tells the story that we truly feel like we have 3 home venues with our basketball programs, and that commitment's there. And anytime you get to play at Bird Ogden Arena, that's a tremendous facility. Our teams enjoy playing there. Last year we were able to play both men's and women's teams, had a chance to compete in that facility. That'll be the same for this year. But yes, we want to spread our brand, and we want to be the Valley's team. We want people to recognize us as the Valley's Division I team. But we have to do our part. And I talked about community service earlier and the engagement of our young people, whether it's Fist Bump Fridays that our men's basketball and women's basketball teams are doing, or it's our baseball baseball team getting out to the Boys and Girls Club and some of the Little League fields around the community, we need to go to our fans. You know, we ask our supporters to come to us on game day, but throughout the year we need to show that we're invested in them and show up in their venues and the places that our youth are playing and competing, and it just makes everything right. When you're doing all of those things and you become the team that people recognize, and when people get to know our student athletes and coaches, that's where the magic happens. We can promote and market all day long, but when you can have those personal interactions with our young people, you really understand what we try to do at UTRGV and our mission to change lives, graduate our young people, and create productive citizens for our communities.
Chase Conk, UTRGV Vice President and Director of Athletics, thanks for joining us. Would you be willing to come back next week for another segment?
I'd be happy to, Jonah.
Awesome. The UTRGV Coaches Show rolls on next. This is North Park Lexus, Rio Grande Valley.
We all want the best for our families, to love, to laugh, to live a healthy life. At UT Health RGV, we believe every family should have access to the most advanced medical care right here, close to home. With over 100 board-certified doctors at 20 locations valley-wide, with life-saving procedures and treatments that keep you and your family healthy, UT Health RGV is here for you. High-quality care for every patient, for every family. Find your way to the best care at uthealthrgv.org.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train longer, put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
Support. Some call it the foundation of success. Joining the V Club assists in the success of our student athletes. Preparing our student athletes for excellence in life.
Thanks for tuning in for this edition of the UTRGV Coaches Show. Missed an episode? Want to watch this again? Then check out our YouTube page at goutrgv.com/coaches show. Big thanks to UTRGV men's basketball head coach Matt Figger and Vice President and Director of Athletics Chase Conk for joining us this week. Next week, Chase is back and we'll also be joined by UTRGV women's basketball head coach Lane Lord. But for now, this is Jonah Goldberg saying so long from North Park Lexus, Rio Grande Valley. This has been the UTRGV Coaches Show. Get your V's up.